Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm your teacher, Simeen Amer, and today I'm here again with a new lecture. Dear students, as you know, social distancing and self isolation are effective ways to slow down the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. So I hope you all must be doing well and must be caring of yourself and your families. This is my lecture number 7 for grade 3O, and today we'll study geography, which is the environment of Pakistan, and your subject code is 2059. We will continue unit number 1, which is the natural topography, including the drainage pattern of Pakistan. So, dear students, we will start from page number 14, and starting topic is the Balochistan's economic potential. The Balochistan plateau is surrounded by and crossed by many mountains. To the south is a narrow coastal plain bordering the Arabian Sea. The area has low rainfall, so the climate is dry and extreme, with comparatively cool summers at high altitude. Altitude means the height of a place. So, comparatively, in highlands, in Balochistan, in highlands, the summers are cool. It's a bit sad that Balochistan, despite being the largest province in area, having the least number of population, and with vast untapped resources. Untapped means unexploited. The area remained neglected, although some efforts were made in this regard, but half-heartedly. The population density is the lowest in the whole of Pakistan. In southwestern Balochistan, it is less than 10 people per square kilometer, so the population density is very low. The water resources of Balochistan, there is no major source of water, and province faces a scarcity of both drinking and irrigation water. Scarcity means insufficiency, so means that there is insufficient of water both for drinking and for irrigation purposes. Irrigation is the artificial supply of water, especially for agriculture. The supplies are mostly dependent upon the small water schemes such as the Kare system, flood diversion channels, and a small number of tube wells. Then the transport and communication of Balochistan. Most of the roads and railway lines have been built without keeping in view economic consideration. Like there should be main link with the industrial area and with the main roads. But they were built without any economic consideration. There is an absence of link roads between the producing areas and the main roads, like the production area with the main roads. The railway lines cover only a limited area. Economic structure of Balochistan. Crop farming and livestock raising are the main pursuits of the people in the province. Crop farming and livestock both are in agriculture. Livestock means raising of animals. So they are the most, or we can say the main interest of the people in the province of Balochistan. About 67% of the labor force is engaged in agriculture. The annual per capita income recently was rupees 455, higher than KPK, which was rupees 360, but lower than Sindh province, which is rupees 854, and lower than Punjab, which is rupees 614. Per capita income or average income measures the average income earned per person in a given area in a specified year. It is calculated by dividing the area's total income by its total population. Per capita income is the national income divided by population size. Economic wealth of Balochistan, and the first thing is mineral resources. The province is enviably rich in this regard. Enviably means desirably. A start has now been made by the Resources Development Corporation. In addition to the Sandak Copper Gold Project, the Pakistan Mineral Development Corporation is also operating three coal mines. A survey has identified the geological condition for the existence of deposits of antimony and gold in Panchkor and Haran district. Antimony is a chemical element like silver. It's a silvery white. Balochistan has good deposits of crude oil and natural gas. Crude oil means raw oil, or we can say unrefined petroleum. About 46% of the gas supply in the country that is obtained from Sui in Balochistan. Sui is not on the Balochistan plateau but is at the edge of the lower Indus plain. The second economic uh, the second economic potential, we can say the economic wealth of Balochistan is agriculture, and agriculture includes both its fruit production and vegetable seed industry. The main fruits grown are dates, grapes, apples, almond, apricots, plums, peaches, melons, and pomegranates. The surplus of fruits produced is estimated to be about 75% of the total production of fruit. Surplus means the excessive amount, excessive than usage. That is called surplus. So surplus is about 75% of the total production. This surplus normally moves to market in other provinces in varying proportion depending upon the demand and prices prevailing there. The demand and prices situation there. Karachi is the largest market for Balochistan's fruits. There are good opportunities for the export of apples, grapes, apricots, melons, peaches, plums, and pomegranates to the Gulf states due to their good quality. Gulf states are the seven Arab states that includes Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. The vegetables and seed industry. The uplands having long and cold winters offer the best scope for growing vegetable seeds that initially require some chilly weather for transplantation. So the uplands are the highlands of Balochistan and that are really good for the growing of these seeds, which requires chilly weather for their transplantation. Transplantation is when we are pulling out small plants and transplanting them into um, other areas. Similarly, warm and dry summers are conductive, or we can say conducive, sorry, it's conducive, which is productive or useful to a superior and extensive flowering and for the formation of high quality seeds. Livestock and their products. Livestock also comes in agriculture. Nomadic livestock farming is common in this region. Nomadic farming includes rearing of animals like goat, sheep, various cattle. From They grow and take them from one place to another. Wherever they travel, they move from one place to another based on seasons. So nomadic are the people, they keep on moving from one place to another. They are moving their cattle due to the scarcity of rainfall and lack of irrigation. Scarcity means insufficiency, so insufficiency of rainfall and lack of irrigation because there are no sufficient river channels in Balochistan, so there is no possibility of irrigation. Only the Kare system is practiced in few areas. The most important livestock products are wool, goat hair, and skins. After meeting domestic requirements, they are being exported abroad under a compulsory government grading scheme which ensures the quality of export. Export risk being rejected by their buyers if not of a satisfactory quality. So after mineral resources and agriculture, there's another economic wealth of Balochistan, which is fishing. Fishing activity is either done for domestic use, subsistence, or for commercial purpose to be sold in local and international markets. You know that fishing is also a kind of farming, so fish farming can be done for two purposes. One is subsistence, and the other is commercial. Subsistence means when the fisherman catches the fishes to use for his own use or for his family's use. But commercial purpose mean that when they are catching fishes for the sale for the purpose of selling, so this is to be sold in local and international markets. There are three main fishing ports in Pakistan. The first one is Gwadar. The total annual catch is estimated at 10,000 tons, including about 200 tons of shrimps. The major part of catch is exported to Sri Lanka as dry salted fish. So that is a canned fish. So the major part of the total catch is exported to Sri Lanka. Pasni is the second number of fishing port, and the annual catch is estimated at 2,500 tons. Of this, about 400 tons are consumed locally, and the balanced, which is about 2,100 tons, are exported to Sri Lanka. Ormada, the annual catch is estimated at 700 tons, most of which is exported to Sri Lanka. So we can say that fish trading partner of Pakistan is Sri Lanka. So let's come to the future prospects of Balochistan. Balochistan has remained somewhat undeveloped but is now beginning to move forward. The mineral resources in which the province is quite rich should be developed, but the untapped sources should be utilized through the employment of experts and consultants. Sheep and goats should be raised on modern scientific lines. Livestock products are exportable but also need improvement, both qualitatively and quantitatively. Deep Sea Gwadar Port and Sendek Copper Gold Project should be utilized to improve the economy of the province. Sandek is a town in Jari district. Development of the fishing industry by using latest technology could lead to its further development. So the Potwar Plateau and the Salt Range. This is on page number 17. So move on to page number 17. The Potwar Plateau and the Salt Range. The Potwar Plateau and the Salt Range are located to the south of Islamabad between the river Indus and the river Jhelum. It is open, undulating land with extensive flat areas. So this is undulating land. It means wavy land that has many, we can say, rise and falls or ups and downs. In the map below on figure 1.42, you can see Islamabad, Potwar Plateau and Salt Range. You can see that Potwar Plateau and Salt Range are below Islamabad, so that is in the south of Islamabad, and you can see the blue lines that indicates the river Indus and the river Jhelum. So both the areas are between the river Indus and the river Jhelum. The height of the Potwar Plateau mainly varies from 300 to 600 meters above the sea level. Residual hills such as Kala Chitta and Kheri Murad rise to just over 1,000 meters and are the result of resistant rock being left behind after the erosion of less resistant rock. A large part of the plateau has been dissected and eroded by the action of running water. It presents a varied landscape. This dissected land is termed as a badland topography and a landscape of ridges, ravines, and troughs. The badlands are a type of dry terrain where softer sedimentary rocks and clay-rich soils have been extensively eroded by wind and water. So, with a strong wind or with a runny water, it can be eroded. The terrain or the land can be eroded. So, the less resistant rocks will be left behind and the less resistant rock will be eroded. They are characterized by steep slopes, minimal vegetation, and high drainage density. Some of the diagrams, like figure 1.45, shows the features of badland topography. You can see figure 1.45, which shows is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of badland topography. The Suwa River is the most dominant feature of the region. It forms gullies. Gullies means the narrow channels that form by river, and large alluvial plains. Alluvial plains mean the area that is having alluvium, very fertile soil or very fertile layer of soil, mainly used for agriculture. The Potwar Plateau is rich in minerals like rock, salt, gypsum, limestone, coal, and oil. Now, the salt range, which is on page number 18. The mountain range, which covers most of the Jhelum, Chakwal, Kalabagh, and Miawali districts, has become famous as the Salt Range. This is because of the salt mines at Kevla, a small town about 160 kilometers from Islamabad, which are located in these mountains. The Salt Range comprises parallel ranges and rises to an average height of 750 to 900 meters. The Seksar Peak is the highest point in this Salt Range, which is about 1,527 meters. The ranges are badly faulted and eroded by rivers. Some lakes like Kalar Kahar and Kaveki add to the scenic beauty of the area. The salt range is rich in minerals like rock salt, gypsum, and limestone. Now, the economic activities and the lifestyle of the people living in the Potwar Plateaus. The Potwar Plateau and the Salt Range are rich in non-metallic minerals like limestone, marble, rock salt, clays, dolomite, and soapstone. Dolomite is a mineral that is used for neutralization, such as this is also called as soil conditioner. These minerals provide raw material to the cement, ceramics, and chemical industries. A number of oil and gas fields are also located in this region. As there's an oil field in this region, so Attak Oil Refinery has been set up to refine that oil from the oil fields of the Potwar Plateau, because the oil that is drilled out from these area is the crude oil. Crude oil is a raw oil. We cannot use that oil in industry, so we have to refine it. For refinery, we have Attak Oil Refinery. Farming in the Potwar Plateau depends on rainfall. The rugged landscape does not allow for canal irrigation. So this is the only area in Pakistan, that is Barani area, which only depends on rainfall. Because canal irrigation is not possible in this rugged landscape, canal irrigation is the diversion of the river channels. So this is not possible in rugged landscape. Rugged landscape means area that is broken into sharp, irregular points. So that is rugged. Wheat, maize, barley, and gram are cultivated here. By and large, the Potwar Plateau is a productive region and accessible by road, rail, and air transport. Some urban settlements like Jhelum, Chakwal, Rawalpindi, Islamabad have been developed, encouraging a high population density. The river Indus and its tributaries drain the Indus plain located throughout most of Punjab and the central part of Sindh. North part is known as Upper Indus Plain. The Lower Indus Plain is from Mithankot to Thatta, and the Delatic Plain from Thatta to coastal stripe of Arabian Sea. Its northern part is known as the Upper Indus Plain. This is the Indus River. This main river is the Indus River, and here we have five tributaries, eastern tributaries like the Jhelum River, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Satluj, and even the Beas, which joins the Satluj before reaching to Pakistan in the area of India. So all of these five rivers that joins each other at the point of Panjnad. Panch means Panch and Nad is Nadi or water. So that is Panchnad. The five rivers comes here and join each other at the area of Panchnad, and further it travels towards the Indus River. This river, this small river, is known as Panchnad River. And when it joins the river Indus, the area is known as Mithankot. This is Mithankot. By Panchnath, the five main tributaries of the Indus, including the Beas, which joins the Satluj in India, have all joined together. After the Satluj joins the Chenab at Panchnath, the river is itself called the Panchnath. The river Panchnath flows for a further 72 kilometers before joining the Indus River near Mithankot. There are four main doabs in this region. Doab means the area between the two rivers or two water bodies. Doab. Do means two and ab means water. So that is actually the area between the two rivers. On page number 19 in figure 1.50 in your book, you can see between the rivers there are different areas, and these are called doabs. We have Badi Doab between the river Beas and river Ravi. There is a Rachna Doab, which is river Ravi and river Chenab. Chit Doab, which is river Chenab and river Jhelum. And Sindh Sagar Doab, which is between river Jhelum and river Indus. Doabs are favored for a number of activities such as farming, constructions, transport, and for business activities because this is very fertile area. The general slopes of the plains towards the sea is gentle. Gentle means light with an average gradient rate of change of 1 meter to 5 kilometers. Gradient means incline or the slope. Below Mithankot in Sindh, the Indus flows as a gigantic river till it falls into the Arabian Sea. Gigantic means the huge or the great size. It's a massive river. This part is known as the lower Indus plain. So this map shows the uh, major dwarfs of Indus plain, and as I said that dwarfs are the areas between two rivers. Here is the Sindh Sagar dwarf, which is between river Indus and river Jhelum. Then you can see it's a Chet dwarf, which is between Jhelum and Chenab. Here is the Rachna dwarf, which is between Chenab and Ravi. There is a Badi Doab. Badi Doab is between Ravi and Satluj. So on page number 20, there's a table in your book on the top of the page which shows the natural topographical features of the Indus plain, and these are like active floodplains, old floodplains, alluvial terraces, Piedmont plains, tidal delta, and rolling sand plains. Let me explain one by one. The active floodplain. The narrow stripe of land on both sides of the rivers is called the active floodplain area. It is locally known as wet or khadar land. It is inundated almost every year. Inundated means flooded, so it is flooded almost every year. That's why it is known as active floodplain. At the end of the rainy season, the land is marked with dry and braided channels rich in alluvium. Braided means interlaced or woven. So that is braided channels which is rich in alluvium. Alluvium is a layer of the soil which is very fertile and that comes with the flow of water and deposited by the runny water. So the land is marked with dry and braided channels rich in alluvium. The active floodplain is found along all the rivers except for the southern half of River Ravi due to the low volume of water. When the river Indus enters the lower Indus plain, the floodplain is around 40 km wide, which makes it an important farming area. Meanders, oxbow lakes, and levees are important features of the active floodplain. Meanders are like the formation of a meander is as the river erodes laterally to the right side, then the left side. It forms large bends, such as S, the word S, or the alphabet S, and then the horseshoe like loops called meanders. The formation of meanders is due to both deposition and erosion, and meanders gradually migrate downstreams. The old floodplain. Meanders and floodplains cover the area between the alluvial terraces and the active floodplain. They are only flooded when there is heavy monsoon rainfall. They are covered with old alluvium deposited in the past. So the active floodplain is frequently inundated or flooded, but the old floodplain is only flooded when there is a heavy monsoon rainfall. The main features that are found on the old floodplain includes the abandoned channels, the meander scars, and the remains of oxbows. Oxbows are the U-shaped body of water. You can see in the figure below. The figure is 1.58. They are oxbows, and this is a U-shaped body of water. Sometimes still with some water in them.
Features formed by river processes, floodplains, and levees. In this module, you'll learn about floodplains and levees, which are a feature formed by river processes. The processes of erosion, transportation, and deposition, which occur in the course of a river, lead to the formation of a variety of landforms, such as waterfalls, gorges, valleys, deltas, meanders, floodplains, and levees. Floodplains and levees are features formed in the lower course of a river due to deposition. Deposition is a process by which a river deposits the load it carries. The rate of deposition depends on the energy of the river and the size of the materials deposited. Now you learn how floodplains and levees are formed by the process of deposition. When there's heavy rainfall, the river may overflow its banks, leading to floods. As the flood water spreads over a large area on either side of the river, the water gradually loses its speed. When the water from the flooded areas recedes, it deposits the materials it was carrying on the land, leaving behind alluvium on the riverbanks and riverbeds. The coarse particles are deposited in the river's edge because of their heavier weight. The finer particles, being lighter, are deposited further inland, away from the river channel. With repeated flooding, deposition in the sides of the river takes place regularly. Over a period of time, the deposited materials, such as alluvium, create wide, flat plains on both sides of the river. These plains are called floodplains. Heavier and coarser materials deposited nearer to the river form raised banks called levees. Floodplains and levees can be represented on a topographical map with the help of imaginary lines called contours. A topographical map represents the physical features of a place in detail with the help of symbols and contours. The alluvium deposited in floodplains consists of loose gravel, sand, clay, and silt, which make floodplains fertile and suitable for cultivation. Hence, people prefer living on the floodplains in spite of the threat of floods. In fact, since ancient times, major civilizations have flourished on the floodplains of various rivers. For example, one of the world's earliest civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization, flourished on the fertile floodplains of the Indus River from 2500 BC to about 1700 BC. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were main cities of this civilization. A variety of crops grown on the floodplains contributed to the prosperity of the Indus Valley Civilization. In this module, you've learned the following. Floodplains and levees are features formed due to deposition, a process by which a river deposits the load it carries. Regular deposition of alluvium due to flooding leads to the formation of a flat, fertile land along the sides of the river. This land is called a floodplain. Levees are raised banks near the river, formed by the deposition of heavy and coarse materials by the river. Floodplains are very fertile and are suitable for cultivation. Since ancient times, major civilizations have flourished on the floodplains of rivers.
Alluvial terraces or bars are areas of higher grounds between rivers formed by erosion of old alluvium. They are formed in the upper Indus plain in Chaj, Rachna, and Badi Doabs. They are also called as scallop interfluids. Sandal bar on Rachna Doab, Ganji bar on Badi Doab, Nili bar on Badi Doab, and Kirana bar on Chaj Doab are prominent alluvial terraces. This is a cross section of a doab. A doab is the land located between two rivers at the confluence. Confluence means the convergence or the meeting of the two rivers. When the rivers enter into a mature valley, a number of topographical features are formed on a doab due to the process of erosion and deposition. So you can see these are the two water bodies of the river. The river is here and the river is here, and the whole area is between these two rivers. This is called Doab. The two main functions of a river on a floodplain, these are erosion and deposition. These are the active floodplain here with this river. This is the active floodplain river with this river. This is old floodplain. Here is old floodplain. This is old floodplain. Then is a scarp, the area, a scarp, and the area between the two rivers, the highland area, which is called the alluvial terrace or the bar upland. These features are levees. Here are levees, the edge of the river, the active floodplain, the old floodplain, which which also have some meanders and um, covers. This is the meander floodplain, the covered floodplain, and scarp them along steep slope or the cliff at the edge of the mountain or the plateau or the ridge, usually formed by the erosion, bar upland or the alluvial terraces, etc., as labeled in this diagram. The floodplain in a Doab area also has the features of abundant channels, oxbow lakes, etc. So another important feature of Indus plain is the Piedmont plain. Piedmont Plains are located at the foothills of the Suleiman Khirtar and Himalayan mountains. You have figure 1.25 that shows the foothills of the Suleiman Khirtar and Himalayan mountains. The most dominant features of the Piedmont Plains are the alluvial fans or cones that develop eastwards from the Suleiman and Khirtar mountains. On page number 22, there are figures, figure 1.60a and 1.60b. Both explain the formation of alluvial fans. Most of the rivers or streams coming from the Suleiman and Khirtar ranges have low water flows. They become active only during the rainy season. When they flow down the mountain slopes swiftly, means rapidly, as they reach the foothills, they become slow and split into narrow channels that fan out on the slopes. The material brought down by the water is dropped within the narrow channels of the streams, and these are like the gravel. The gravels are the small rocks, the sand, and the alluvium. Alluvium, I have told you, that is the fertility of, we can say, the fertile soil that comes with the running water, and that is deposited by rivers from alluvial fans. There are extensive areas of alluvial fans on the eastern side of Suleiman and Kirtar ranges, while smaller areas have been formed on the southern side of the Seva lakes between the river Jhelum, Chenab, and also between the river Chenab and Ravi. The Suleiman Piedmont Plain is also known as the Dera Jat. The Piedmont Plains are mainly agricultural. So, dear students, I think that's enough for today's lecture. Here I'm going to give you an assignment. You have to do question number 1 and 2 of this unit 1 from page number 27. Question number 1 is, with reference to relief, drainage, and economic importance, explain the differences between the northern mountains and the western mountains. We are done with northern mountains also and western mountains also. Now you have to give the differences between both the mountains, but what you have to consider in your mind, that is relief. Relief is the topography, the land features, and the drainage. Drainage is all the water bodies, the running of all the water bodies, and the economic importance, their economic activities and lifestyle. So consider all these three things in your mind, and then give me the differences between the northern mountains and the western mountains. The second question is, explain the features of topography which are common to all highland areas. All highland, like the northern highlands, the western highlands, the northwestern highlands, and the plateaus. They all are the highlands. So you have to give me the common features that are the features that are common to all the highlands. So pick the common features and write it down in your notebook. This is your assignment. Do this assignment in your notebook with the mark your margin line. Must write today's date and day, and please maintain your index. Thank you so much, dear students, for watching this video. If you still have any confusion, drop your queries in the comment box. I'll give you your answers, inshallah, and we'll meet up again in the next video. Till then, bye.